two things. One, I don't know if you can see, but there's a light over at the Frankenstein place and up here on the ceiling, and it is straight out of 1978. So I'm trying to cut that out. We're very modern. We're very modern here. Two, I have been just eating these things like candy, so my tongue looks like I'm in demolition or something. But anyway, we're gonna press on, even with these inconsistencies in my life. I just got done watching The Suicide Squad, and it's a sequel or not. It's a sequel or a reboot or a redo or not. However, whatever's your pleasure. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I guess it's not a sequel because Captain Boomerang's in it, and he died twice now. Spoiler alert. But I'm all for people redoing them. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to wrap my head around this. It's a little complicated for me, but so they did the first Suicide Squad movie, which I really liked up until the halfway point, and then it got super serious, and then you kind of lost me on this because I'm all for taking the second string or third string, or well, being that they're DC Comics characters, eighth string characters, and giving them a movie and giving them something to do, where it's kind of the joke that they're dumb and that they suck. That's pretty cool. I don't mind that at all. I really don't. What I mind is when they give sucky eighth string characters the task of saving the universe or saving the world. And I'm with you on the silly and the goofy, but the threat level has to be appropriate. So that was my problem with the first one. So up until halfway, I'm good. It's just the second half that where we have all these horrible problems. Which brings me to this sequel or not, or reboot or whatever. It's only been a few years, right? Hold on. We're going to do this together. You and I. 2016, the first one came out, and that wasn't too terribly long ago, right? My pants still fit at this time, so it's a bit soon, don't you think, to kind of hit the restart button? And I don't completely understand why they would do this. Other than, hey, we screwed up on the first one, let's try again. We promise we won't do the same thing. And then they proceed to do the same thing. Now, I'm going to give you my spoiler-free review. And you could probably just go watch my review of the first Suicide Squad movie, and it's probably the same, with some little minor tweaks, and probably not that light up there that I'm trying desperately not to show in the video. Up until the halfway part, I had a blast with this movie. And then, almost as if I should have known better, as if I... It's almost like they said, Dave, fool me once, you know. It was kind of the same thing. A little better, and we'll get into specifics after my spoiler-free review, but the review's pretty much the same. Halfway through, I had a blast. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It is a very fun movie. Until it decides not to be, and now we're trying to be a little bit more serious. I mean, it always kind of has some hee-hee and ha-has going through it, but it's overly long. It's like 2 hours. Well, 2 hours, 12 minutes, but the credits go on for ages. So it's about 2 hours long on the nose, and we could have easily lopped off about 15 or 20 on this one. I'm thinking, yeah, but overall, my spoiler-free review is frustratingly similar to the other one, which is halfway through, you could probably turn it off and just have good memories. Um, because it really starts to veer into like seriousness. It's not as guilty as the first one. It's not as bad in that regard, but it follows the same trajectory, and that's very upsetting to me. I don't want to talk too much about the original one or the first one or however you want to call it. Well, I'll say 2016 Suicide Squad. I don't want to get too much into it. Personally, I thought the whole Joker stuff was fine. I have zero problems with Jared Leto as Joker. That's was completely fine by me. I don't care. But in this one, there's no Joker business or anything like that. Nothing about that here at all. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're getting into spoiler territory now. So that's my spoiler-free review. It's fun. So the Suicide Squad is a fun film, but it follows the same downfall of the first one, only not as bad, which strikes me as incredibly silly. Like, it's almost like the people in charge said, "Hey, you know what? I think we kind of screwed up. We can do this better. We can do this better," and they did, but barely. See, it's almost like you're playing Road Avenger for Sega CD, right? And you get to a part where you're going to crash into like an innocent bystander or something, and you play it over and over again, and you're like, I think I'm not making the right turn here, after you kill him for the 8th time in a row. So instead, you run into a mountain. I mean, it's better, I guess. You didn't make the same mistake again, but you still made the wrong turn. It's a little bit better. No innocents were killed, but your car still exploded. That's kind of where we are with this. So that's my spoiler-free review for the film. Now we're going to start spoiling stuff if you care. You know what? I'm speaking right now as someone who watched the film and not my penis. I don't think Harley Quinn needed to be in this at all. Actually, she kind of detracts from it. And that is both a compliment to the film and also kind of not. I get it. She's synonymous with this thing, and they tried to give her her own thing with the Birds of Prey fiasco. I never saw it. I won't see it, but I can probably take an educated guess that it sucked. Real super bad. So they said, hey, we can't like make this Birds of Prey thing happen. So instead, we're going to take her back. Hey, remember Suicide Squad? That was fun, right? That was fun. And then they did this. Sign language for my bad. And that's what it seemed like to me. And, look, the cast on this film and the characters involved did a great job. It was great. She was not necessary. She wasn't needed at all in this. And that kind of sounds odd, I know. But I think the movie would have worked better without it. If you took out the parts that focused on her, we can get rid of those 15 or so extra minutes and kind of make things tidier and give more time to the other characters because they're better and they fit more. And if Harley Quinn's kind of off doing her own thing or whatever, we don't really need to do this too much. But anyway, let's get into some specifics here. So, the movie follows the same basic formula, which I'm puzzled. I'm baffled. Can you see my expression? This is my baffled expression. Oh, wait, this is my hungry expression. But it also is my baffled expression for the intents and purposes of this video. The new team is great. I like them all, particularly. Um, I mean, I think John Cena did great. He did really good. Uh, everyone. If I had to pick, kind of, if I had to nitpick as far as casting goes, it would be Harley Quinn is to me anyway, a distracting part of this film. Like she's the worst, and that would be the last thing I was walking into this film expecting, that she would be the one I liked the least. And I guess that's good, right? It's not so much like, oh well, she did shitty, as much as, wow, these other characters are really interesting and they surprised me and they're fun, and I kind of want you to leave now. Like you've had your film, you've had your movie, you had the, pretty prominent role in the first one or the original one or what have you. Now let's have fun with like these other neat new people. But no, she comes back and is, she does what she does. I don't know. And to this day, I shall never understand the whole premise. Like I remember in the first one, the trailer, when it was like, what happens if Superman loses his shit and decides to attack his pals? Do you think girl with baseball bat is gonna stop him? Because if you do, you're stupid. Hmm? But anyway, in this film, what's better is the threat is goofy. The threat is a giant starfish with an eye, a single eye in the center. So it's this big. It almost looks adorable. It looks like something out of SpongeBob, for crying out loud. And but it's evil and it's bad. And yes, that's how it should be. Wasn't the villain in the first one Metallo? You guys are so cute. Yeah. So it was this in the first one. There was this big world-ending threat, which again, to me anyway, defeats the entire purpose. I'm all for suicide missions in general. I would love to have one. This mortal coil just ain't working out too well for me. But until the government decides to lend me a hand, I'm gonna have to watch movies and tell you about them. So in the first one, they're a group of shitty villains, and they get some benefits. They get some leeway in their sentencing if they help out, and they do suicide missions pretty much, right? Which is a fine premise. That's fun. That's great. And with characters you really don't give a shit about, you're under no obligation to keep them alive. So this kind of franchise could keep going and going and going with more and more movies and more missions, and you can just alternate through characters, and if people die, well, that's just kind of how it goes. That's fun, and that's different. That's very, very different, because you're not beholden, right? I doubt there are many Captain Boomerang fans out there who are gonna pitch a fit when their pal dies, right? So I kind of like that. It gives a lot of wiggle room, right? And that's great. But my problem in the first one was, you send the shitheads for shithead missions that are kind of important, but not really important. But if the world is in danger, don't send the shitheads. Send the real guys. This is Green Lantern territory now. This is like Superman shit. All right? So the shitty team defeating Metallo and saving the world, I think that strays from the fun aspect of where we're going here. If you're gonna have shitty protagonists, make a shitty antagonist. And I don't mean shitty as in bad. I mean power level, right? Power level low, like a third-rate villain for a third-rate team going against them, right? Not a world threat, because that doesn't really add up. That doesn't really add up too much. But in this one, it's a giant starfish. I mean, there's still a whole, it could take over this country or whatever the fuck. But again, the importance is dulled, being that it's a giant starfish with an eye in the middle. It's like an adorable Cthulhu or something like that, and it's better. It's a better choice given what we're working with here. Keep it fun. See, I'm all for the fun, because when superhero movies try to be so grim and dark and awful and drab, we're talking about people in costumes with cloaks and powers and nonsense. We're talking about childish nonsense. So when you try to make it over the top, grim and depressing and real, I think you're just shooting yourself in the foot with laser beam eyes, because we're here to have fun, right? Or not? Maybe? I don't know anymore. I don't even know anymore. So movies like this, I am all for. I want there to be more shit like this, because I will always take goofy and fun when we're talking about superheroes, because they're goofy and they should be fun. Okay? Now, you can have your 4-hour Snyder cuts if you really want. If you really don't have anything better to do, I can't stop you from watching a 4-hour film. Me, I just want to kind of get a couple of laughs and go about my day here. I got a lot of pudding to eat. So, can we hurry this along, you know? So it is overly long. It's at the 2-hour mark. Did not need to be at all. I thought Harley Quinn actually detracted from the film, and I would just have liked it a lot better if they just focused on the main team, because the main team was really, really super good. There was a how to put this? I don't know. Zack Snyder, a la Watchmen, shades of, you know, there's a betrayal because the truth must come out, and there are forces who want to keep things hidden for the greater good of peace. Yeah, we've seen this shit before. I did not like that. I thought the whole kind of John Cena heel turn. Well, I guess it would be a face turn, being that they're all bad. I have to think about this for a while. But when, you know, you know, Mom, can't we just have fun? Can't we just have a stupid movie where they fight the fucking giant starfish and kill it? But no, they gotta go hard. They gotta go serious, right? They gotta do America's bad. Oh no, the giant space monster, the starfish monster from outer space. It was America the whole time who wanted to use it as a weapon. America! Oh, you're so bad. Guys, we were having fun. I was laughing and smiling and giggling, and then no fun for you, Dave. No fun for you. Sorry about that, buddy. But, you know, first half, loved it. Lots of fun. Second half, more fun than the first one, but still same problem. It's like, you're getting there. Maybe Suicide Squad 2028 will finally be fun all the way through. Just cook it all the way through. Pretty please. Let's try that. So some specifics here. I really like John Cena. I thought he did good. I'm not particularly a John Cena fan wrestling wise, but hey, it's nice to see that he's doing well. And I did not. Well, actually, the character is just prototype. I don't know if you've ever seen John Cena's wrestling stuff before he got, you know, famous and whatnot, but his character was called Prototype, and kind of was similar to the role that he plays in this, but still, good job, a really good performance. Deadshot, but not Deadshot. Deadshot with Legos, I'll call him. Fine. Actually, really good. I was surprised that I can't say his name. Idris. Well, that was relatively harmless. I keep wanting to say Tetris because of the Lego thing. Is what I said. Idris Elba is a great actor. I was kind of surprised to see him in this because he's good. he's he's really good. Like the scene where him and his daughter are freaking out at each other. That's just good acting, and it was funny. Like it's at the same time a good display of acting and emotion and whatnot, but also funny at the same time, which is super hard to do. So that was great. That was great. He was really good. If you give me a giant shark in anything, a giant shark man, you're scoring so many points. Right? It's probably the easiest thing you can do. Giant shark man, I'm sold. I'm in there. And great. They did a great job of just sprinkling enough character and giving each person enough seasoning to make them a complete character, really. Well, actually, they were a little skimpy on the shark guy. They kind of didn't really say anything particularly about him, but okay, you know. All right, they got a lot to do. I understand. I understand this. And in the first one, a pretty valid complaint. I thought it was fine, but when they were going over the origins of all the people in the beginning of the initial 2016 Suicide Squad movie, they did spend a lot more time on Deadshot and Harley Quinn, but that makes sense. They're the leads, you know, so it didn't bother me too much. This is way more evened out. I still don't know who Rick Flag is. Sorry, I'm not a big DC guy because I have taste. But I don't know who Rick Flag is. Is that something? I'm assuming Rick Flag is like the DC equivalent of like a Nick Fury or something like that. I didn't know who he was in the first one. I didn't know, and it's the same actor. I know because he looks just like a friend of mine. Like in the first movie, particularly, like the way his hair was, he looks exactly like somebody I know. But anyway, yeah. So he's back, which complicates things again. Because if it's like a reboot, but you're recasting a few of the same important lead characters, like Amanda Waller is the same. That's her name, right? I don't know names. Same actress, Rick Flag, same guy. Harley Quinn's in it again. Same general premise. Is this a sequel? I guess not, but kind of, yeah. I mean, if they wanted to do the whole reboot thing, I'm just kind of wondering why they didn't recast Rick Flag and Amanda Waller just to get that kind of, no, this is different. Just to kind of, I want to use the word allay any confusion. Is that the right word? Right? Yeah, allay. Like allay your fears. Allay any confusion. Is that good? That sounds, something about that sounds weird. Just to, you know, and I understand that if they have to put Harley Quinn in it, they're not going to get a new actress to play her, so that's fine. But you know, recasting, I think some of the other parts would give it a new kind of refreshing thing. Did you hear that? Hear my stomach just went. Oh, help me. In a minute. I'll be with you in a moment. So yeah, I mean, look. The Suicide Squad 2021 is a fun movie that unfortunately falls into the same trap as the first one, for me anyway, just not as bad, which is puzzling. I mean, how many more times are you going to redo this before you fucking get it? I mean, but I'll take funny starfish monster over Metallo any day of the week, and twice on Sunday here. Also, oh my God, the girl who plays the Ratcatcher 2, is she the most gorgeous thing ever, or what? She ruled. So great. She did a great job. Great job. It's incredibly easy to play a character like this and be obnoxious. Not her. She's good. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. And I think another actress would fuck it up. And she was great. And she was outlandishly beautiful in this movie. And she, you know, a girl in a gas mask. For a mutant like me, it's a nice accessory to have. So do you you come around the wasteland often, sweetheart? Do you like Count Dracula by any chance? No? Leave you alone? I'll be over here. I'll be over here. This, just going this way. If you want directions? If you would like directions to sexuality, you're in the general vicinity. If you know what I'm saying. Just an invitation. An invitation to chaos. Fleshy chaos. But in all seriousness, Suicide Squad, I almost said Serial Squad. Serial Squad would be pretty cool. Serial Squad could be like the Expendables, but with Cap'n Crunch, Count Chocula, obviously, the Lucky Charms Leprechaun, what's the bird from Cocoa Puffs? Does that bird have a name? Lenny, the bird from Cocoa Puffs. And by the way, I've been meaning to do this forever. The box cover for Cocoa Puffs, tell me it does not look like a topless woman's torso. Because the eyes are the boobs, and then the way its mouth is kind of puckered looks like hips and a nice vag. In post, I'll edit it in so you can see. You tell me that's not the hottest fucking subliminal messaging ever. I'm not the only one who sees that. You gotta see that. Need some help? Check this out. You hard yet? Figured. Look at you. But yeah, Suicide Squad 2021. It's fun. It's a fun movie. Do I recommend it? Sure. You'll definitely get some laughs. They play against each other well. I believe. I read just a little while ago that they're gonna do a show for Peacemaker, John Cena's character. I almost said John Candy's character. That would be something, wouldn't it? So that's something. It's going to be on HBO Max. HBO Max. Did I say that correctly? Yes. Or HBO Go Max? HBO Gonads. It's going to be on HBO Zygote. Check it out. Check your local Zygotes for that. That'll be something for you to check out. And that'll be interesting, I guess. So you have Disney, and they're going all gung-ho with Marvel shows and whatnot about characters that nobody gives a fuck about, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Come on, give me a break. And then HBO is like, oh no, Disney, you think you can make shows on shitty characters? A new challenger has arisen. So that should be something. I don't know. Yeah, it was cool, you know. But again, it's I hate having to keep say that. I hate having to keep say this. That sentence sounded off, but I think it was correct, grammatically speaking. I do not like having to say this, but it started off so good. And then we have second half problems, and it's so easy. It's so simple. And I think the people who make these movies feel they must overcomplicate things. And the movies not in the plot twist or the betrayals, the movies in the characters, and the movies in proficiently and efficiently laying out your story. a lot of times it seems like writers or storytellers or whatnot, they're almost challenging the audience. Like if they feel like, oh, the audience is expecting one thing, well, how about this? You weren't expecting this, right? And they'll throw in something completely unnecessary that eats up time and that doesn't really benefit the film at all, just for the sake of not being predictable. Predictable is completely fine if it's done effectively and if it's done efficiently. The basics still work, and you're not any less of a filmmaker for sticking to basic storytelling tenets, right? Without throwing in these little jukes and jives. Juke and jive. Obviously, I'm a sportsman. And that's what I kind of think they did with this. And I think it would have played better, benefited the movie more if they just went straight, you know, and strayed from the whole, oh no, we were set up, we were betrayed by America, it was us all along, the truth must be told. No, we must keep this amongst ourselves for the good of the I mean, these heavy moral dilemmas do not belong in this movie, because up until this point we've been having fun, right? Can we keep having fun? Why, here, how about this? I know, crazy idea. Why don't we just have fun the whole way through? And we could knock about 15 or 20 minutes off this bad boy in the process. Everybody leaves happy. Everybody's good, right? No? No? We gotta bring things down and get all serious and so they have Suicide Squad. Now they have the Suicide Squad. What's the next one going to be called? Suicide the Squad? Squadron of Suiciders. The Self-Deleters? I guess third time's a charm. We shall see. But yeah, it was fun. Fun movie. No light up top. Did it peek in at all? No, we're good. We're good. Tongue, how's the tongue doing? It's still a little bit. There's a little pat. I don't know if you could see it because it's going to be in black and white, but this video has been sponsored by Icebreaker's duo Strawberry Fruit and Cool. You know, when I do videos, every now and again, I need a little pick-me-up. These things are so neat looking. It's like a cat tongue. If you ever wanted to have a cat tongue in your mouth, check that. If French kissing cats is a little too dangerous it's too rich for your blood, try Icebreakers. Cat kissers across the world. Try Icebreakers, and so should they don't. I could probably get in legal trouble, right? For making up sponsors for videos. But they didn't pay me. They didn't pay me for this ad. No, they didn't. They didn't pay me. Or did they? I'm not saying.